I have yet to see a single example of Angel Reese being a leader outside of rebounding her own missed layups. What does Angel Reese do? What is her contribution? You tell me, because I'm not seeing it. I know I'm harsh on Angel Reese, but she considers herself a star. If you're going to call yourself a star, I expect you to perform like a star, especially in big moments. Caitlin Clark was injured. Angel Reese was the only star on the court last night, and for 27 minutes, she completely disappeared.
Angel Reese just delivered the most humiliating performance of her career, and it happened under the brightest lights. Inside the United Center, the NBA's biggest arena, with a sold-out crowd watching on national television, she put up only 4 points on 2 of 7 shooting. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever crushed the Chicago Sky by 27. But here's the part that stings most. The Fever were missing Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and even their head coach. As for the moment that truly cemented Reese's embarrassment, we'll get to that. Because what Caitlin Clark did on live TV afterward has fans saying she just put Reese in check. If you're ready to see Caitlin dominate again, drop a "fire the baby giraffe" in the comments. Let's get into it.
Well, there's a lot of reaction coming in from last night's drubbing, destruction, annihilation, cremation, whatever you want to call it, roasting, sauteed, whatever your form of cooking may be. But the Indiana Fever absolutely dismantled the Chicago Sky.
You know a player isn't a real ticket seller when prices to see them drop to what you'd pay for a snack at a gas station. This United Center matchup was supposed to be Angel Reese's opportunity to show she could bring in crowds and viewers without Caitlin Clark in the picture. All season, the Chicago Sky pushed the narrative that Reese was just as much of a box office attraction, that fans came out just as much for her as they did for Clark.
Angel Reese is now quoted as saying, "I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person." She refuses to say Caitlin Clark's name. "It's because of me too, and I want you to realize."
Then the truth hit like a wrecking ball. As soon as Caitlin Clark was ruled out with a quad injury, ticket prices nosedived, from premium levels to just $3. That's right, $3. You can't even get a good coffee for that. But that's what people were willing to pay to watch Angel Reese at the United Center. And this wasn't a minor drop. It was a total collapse. Tickets originally priced for a star-studded showdown became worthless overnight. Scalpers were stuck holding them, and fans who once seemed hyped for the matchup quickly lost interest. The message? There's only one real star in this league right now.
Last night was somewhat of a big moment for Angel Reese and the Chicago Bravado. For starters, the WNBA moved the game out of the local dump the Bravado usually play in and relocated to the United Center, which is the largest arena in the NBA, holding over 20,000 people. Now, to their credit, there seemed to be a good crowd in the United Center last night. I had someone who was at the game send me a few pictures, and most sections seemed to be filled. It wasn't a sellout, but there was supposedly over 19,000 people in attendance. Of course, it's easier to draw a decent crowd when tickets are selling for $3 hours before the game starts.
Social media captured it all. Fans shared screenshots of those $3 tickets, complete with laughing emojis and jokes about being able to bring the whole family for less than what they'd usually pay to park. The hype that had been building around this showdown at the United Center deflated in seconds. Let's be honest, this was supposed to be Chicago's big stage. The Sky had hyped Reese as a must-watch player with her own following, someone who drew eyes every time she hit the court. But when Caitlin Clark was no longer part of the equation, the buzz vanished and the fans made it very clear who they were really paying to see.
Oof, what an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pregame catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game of basketball?
Now compare that to past games where Clark's presence sent ticket sales soaring and brought in packed arenas. Fans would arrive hours early just to catch her warming up. The difference couldn't be more obvious.
Folks, there were people in the crowd getting there early saying, "Hey, Caitlin, can you sign my jersey? Hey, Aaliyah, can you sign my shirt? Hey, Sophie, can you sign my picture?" There were people asking for autographs in the Chicago Sky crowd that weren't even born yet the last time the Chicago Sky scored this little amount of points. There were people in the crowd who weren't even a thought in their parents' minds at the time that the Chicago Sky last scored at least 52 points, the lowest point total since 2011.
Even Chicago Sky fans seemed less engaged once it became clear there would be no Caitlin Clark matchup. The buzz surrounding the game turned into a dull sense of obligation. People who had organized watch parties suddenly found new plans for their Friday night. But this ticket price collapse was just the start of Angel Reese's nightmare. Those $3 seats turned out to be a perfect warning sign of what kind of performance fans were about to witness from Chicago's so-called superstar.
Angel Reese, part 38, let's get it! Life throws her lemons, she makes bricks. Bang! PSA to anyone watching, she is right-handed. Right-handed, by the way. She missed the rim by 3 feet, man. Bang! I gotta say, this is my favorite summer sitcom. Pecan? Butter pecan? Bang! Here's a stat. She's been blocked 20 times, and she's only made 21 hoops. What?
Scoring just 4 points on 2 of 7, shooting over 27 minutes on national television is how you wreck your public image in real time. This wasn't just any game, it was the United Center's first WNBA matchup ever. CBS had cleared prime time for it, with 0 programming competition, and a sold-out crowd filled the NBA's biggest arena expecting fireworks. Instead, they watched Angel Reese turn in what analysts described as a disaster-class performance, unraveling on the sport's grandest stage.
Matter of fact, this might have been the first WNBA game broadcast on CBS in prime time. If it's not the first, it's one of very few. This was a big moment. I'm sure the WNBA would call it historic. Angel Reese is playing in an NBA arena in prime time on network television on Saturday night. Outside of regular season baseball, maybe the College World Series, there was no competition on television. The eyes of the sports world were focused on Angel Reese and the WNBA. And Angel Reese once again proved why no one is watching.
Let's really look at how rough this game was. Reese scored just 4 points, missing 5 of her 7 shot attempts, including 2 cringeworthy missed layups that drew groans from the crowd. 1 shot got completely blocked, and cameras caught every second of her visible frustration as the game spiraled away. For someone marketed as Chicago's franchise star and a major ticket seller, this stat line was flat out embarrassing.
Caitlin Clark is averaging more assists per game than Angel Reese is averaging points per game this season. Yeah. 9.3 points per assist per game, 9.3 assists per game. Let me just bring it up to 9.1 points per game.
What made this even harder to watch was how lost Reese looked on the court. Her decisions were off. She seemed rattled by the moment and had no answer for the Fever's defensive pressure. Every frustrated headshake and look of disappointment was captured on camera as shot after shot clanked off the rim. It was clear she wasn't mentally or physically ready for the spotlight.
Another diabolical stat. She's 19 of 59 from less than 5 feet away. How about that, man? Bang! She should work at housekeeping for hotels because she could turn it over quickly. Lost by 27, scored only 4 points against the Indiana Fever. I mentioned no Caitlin Clark, no problem, give and go. Like a given no shot of working. Bang!
You prefer car or plane?
Car or plane for what? For how you want to travel! That's too many steps and you can't do that.
This wasn't just a bad shooting night. It looked like Reese didn't belong on the court with pros. The crowd's reaction said it all. What began as eager excitement from fans who spent serious money for the experience slowly turned into growing disappointment. By the fourth quarter, some had already started leaving, despite the game's historic setting. And here's the worst part. In the days leading up to the matchup, Reese had been all over social media flaunting her celebrity lifestyle and projecting supreme confidence. But when the pressure peaked and the stage demanded greatness, she crumbled.
What an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pregame catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game of basketball?
The Sky's offensive woes extended far beyond Reese, though her performance was especially hard to watch. Not a single Chicago player hit double digits, and the team only put up 52 points, their lowest total since 2011. But even in the context of total team failure, Angel Reese's showing was the most painful to witness. One analyst didn't hold back, saying Angel Reese once again proves she's nowhere near Caitlin Clark's level. This wasn't just a rough night, it was a total collapse on the biggest stage women's basketball has. The Fever capitalized on it completely, and they didn't even need their best player on the court.
But unfortunately, Angel Reese brought her outfit and left her game at home. She brought the nice hat, she brought the nice boots, she brought the nice jacket, she brought the nice gloves, but unfortunately, she left her game at home. 4 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists in 27 minutes of action, a minus 23 turnovers as the Chicago Sky, without Caitlin Clark, without Sophie Cunningham, without Stephanie White.
This wasn't Angel Reese's first public disaster against the Fever. It's becoming a troubling pattern that dates back months. Go back to May 17th when the Indiana Fever utterly demolished the Chicago Sky 93-58 at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. That 35-point blowout wasn't just a rough outing. It marked the beginning of what would become Angel Reese's recurring nightmare anytime she faces Indiana.
Angel Reese gets up, Aaliyah Boston shoves her, gives her a little stiffy. Hey, don't come at Caitlin. But look at her, Angel Reese upset. Oh my gosh. Hey man, this was hilarious. Look, Angel Reese was pissed. Look at her, she was still going out there a little bit. Look, took the jersey out. What's going on? Look.
In that May game, Reese tried to rattle Caitlin Clark by getting physical, hoping to knock her off rhythm. You could clearly see her amping up the aggression, making contact constantly, and trying to establish control. But the strategy backfired badly, as the Fever coasted to one of the most dominant wins in WNBA history. What's worse for Reese's reputation is that this wasn't a one-off. That loss was just the opening chapter in what's now a totally one-sided rivalry. Indiana is 2-0 against Chicago this season, both massive blowouts, and Reese has been at the center of both collapses.
I thought Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were cool. But I don't know, man. The way Angel got up, she was like, Look at her. Ooh. I mean, she was getting after it, fam. Oh my goodness. Now, the funny thing was Caitlin Clark sniffing, walking away. Hold on, let me see if I can get a good angle. Oh yeah, look. watch Caitlin Clark's face right here. Watch this.
Fans are telling the story loud and clear. Social media is packed with side-by-side breakdowns of both games, pointing out how Reese has failed again and again against Indiana. From doubts about her ability to handle pressure to outright jokes about her trying to compete with Clark, it's all there. The 35-point meltdown in May, followed by a 27-point embarrassment at the United Center, shows a pattern. Reese's confidence falls apart every time she sees Indiana. Her physical style fails, her shot disappears, and she looks totally lost. So how did Caitlin Clark dominate Reese on national TV? Let's take a look.
The clock is winding down. You got us. close out with a hand up. Her hands were down, and Howard knocked it down, and that is a travel.
Reese drags the pivot foot, gives the ball back to Indiana. 8 to shoot. Boston this time, working against Reese. Pivot, puts it up.
There's a move.
This isn't just a string of bad games, it's a complete breakdown of Angel Reese's confidence and reputation whenever she faces Indiana. The Fever have gotten so deep in her head she can't even function on the floor when they're across from her. This pattern says something bigger about both players' legacies and where this rivalry is heading. And what makes it worse? Indiana didn't even need Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, or their head coach to annihilate Chicago. Just think about that. Missing 3 major contributors, they still won by 27 points and made the Sky look like amateurs.
No Caitlin Clark, no problem. No Sophie Cunningham, no problem. No head coach Stephanie White, have no fear. The final boss, Austin Kelly, is here. The Chicago Sky, we came into your building and we just, from pillar to post, smacked you guys around.
Kelsey Mitchell stepped up in a massive way, leading the Fever with 17 points on solid 5 of 11 shooting, while adding 5 rebounds and 2 assists. Mitchell showed exactly why she's been such an important veteran presence for this team, taking control of the offense and never letting Chicago gain any momentum. Her leadership on the court was obvious from the opening tip.
This time steps right through the heart of the defense and blows by Chicago. The winds off of Lake Michigan. Loses Atkins, step back mini, knocks it down. Oh, the connection to Howard. How about the finish from Mitchell?
And she may be the quickest guard in the league with the ball in her hands.
But here's where things got truly impressive. Ari McDonald came off the bench and lit up the Sky with 12 points, hitting 3 triples and grabbing 4 steals. Signed on a hardship contract, McDonald immediately punished Chicago for every mistake. She ran the offense like she'd been part of the squad all year, showcasing the kind of basketball intelligence that separates real pros from the pretenders.
But both teams facing a little bit of adversity, having certain players out or not at full capacity.
McDonald, a huge triple in the corner. Mitchell, patient in the corner, flips it up top. Boston, other side. McDonald, another 3. I'm loving it.
The Fever's ball movement told the full story of their superior fundamentals. They notched 20 assists on 27 made baskets, displaying a team-first mindset that Chicago couldn't match. Every trip down the floor looked deliberate and composed, while the Sky came across as scattered and out of sync. Acting head coach Austin Kelly deserves huge praise for keeping the team locked in and perfectly executing the plan. Filling in for Stephanie White, Kelly had them firing on all cylinders. He stressed defense afterwards, saying, "Our best defense is when our offense is clicking."
Yes, sir.
Great job. All right, great job.
Thanks, Daddy.
It started for us on the defensive end. We set the tone from the jump and never looked back. All right. Their starters, 8 for 29 from the field. Hell of a job. Great attention to detail. That's less than 30%. We held them 32% for the game.
Natasha Howard chipped in 13 efficient points, while Aaliyah Boston added 11 points, 5 boards, and 5 assists. Even Lexi Hull hit a career milestone, crossing 500 total points during the blowout. The balanced scoring and all-around contributions from every player showed just how stacked this Fever squad really is. Indiana held Chicago to just 52 points. Thanks to suffocating defense and sharp rotations, they forced turnovers, contested everything, and made the Sky grind for every basket they got.
All right, great job there. All right, we won the boards. All right, and they're a second chance points team. All right, and we won that area as well. Taking away their strengths was something that we did a great job of. All right.
Just extremely proud of y'all. We stayed locked in. We stayed together. We executed the scout at a very high level. Just multiple levels of effort. everything that we've asked of you today, we put it in there. And from now, again, stacking days, building on those moments where we're stringing those possessions together, right? Building on those great possessions on defense and on offense. Great, hell of a job, y'all. High level.
This win made one thing clear. The Fever are far more than just the Caitlin Clark show. They're a real title threat, even without their brightest star on the floor. The depth, coaching, and championship focus they displayed in this United Center route sent a loud message to the whole league. Indiana is serious. This performance confirmed that while the Fever rise, the Sky are falling apart. Angel Reese's 4-point flop on national TV showed just how lopsided the rivalry has become. Indiana's depth and grit make them a genuine title contender in 2025, proving they can crush opponents even without their marquee player. Caitlin Clark is set for re-evaluation on June 9th and could be back as soon as Tuesday against Atlanta. Just imagine what happens when Clark rejoins a team already stomping rivals by 27 points without her. If you're waiting for Reese's next fail, drop a comment like "Fire the baby giraffe," hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Click the next video on your screen. We'll see you there.